week indicated October the 21st is our annual meeting, official date. And we're continuing to pass the clipboard around for those who have not yet indicated they wish to renew or begin their membership. This has to be completed by September the 20th if you want to vote at the annual meeting. So I'll pass it around again today. If you signed the one last week, you don't need to sign again. Okay, so those of you that completed it last week, and those of you who sent me emails indicating you wanted to rejoin, you don't need to sign today. If you haven't done that, then, and you want to, then you can sign this one. Thank you.
On the same note, I think Kim Martin has a sign-up sheet or a checklist for people's addresses, homes, phone numbers, and that's out in the lobby if you want to check it on your way out. Other announcements. Okay, then speaking of Kim Martin and myself, we're collecting these dental kits. Kim made the little sign on the side for it. I think we're collecting bars of soap too, and those will either be sent overseas to the mission project or possibly to an armed forces group the way we did last year. Other announcements. Going once, going twice. All right then. We ring the bell in universal oneness and feel the vibration that unites in love and peace. Our lighted candle symbolizes the Christ light and presence in all. Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Terry Whitey.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Jens. Anyway, if you would, if you have a cell phone, please turn it to mute. And then we will be ready to move on. If you would, join me in reading the mission statement on the front of your bulletin. The Center for Universal Oneness is a place where those who want support on their spiritual journey may join with others for mutual encouragement, inspiration, and guidance. The Center draws on those practices based in thought and metaphysical approaches. The higher Christ consciousness provides the foundation. We strive to live in the oneness of love. And our vision statement. Extending into the world faith, love, peace, and joy. And now I believe the lovely Ida is going to lead us in prayer.
Yay, Ida.
The lovely Ida.
Lovely Ida. I don't get called
Yeah. Nobody else gets called
The
lovely.
deal is, he really means that. The lovely Ida. Now I gotta live up to that. I'm here to say good morning to all of you and welcome to our center. We're so pleased to have you with us, especially Graeme.
Yeah.
And so just be mindful of your breath. Be mindful of this breath constantly goes in and out, in and out, in and out. And center your mind and your heart on the words you'll be hearing, on the sounds you'll be hearing, of everything that goes on. It's all meant to inspire you and welcome you and let's have a better life for having spent this hour together. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you, Ida. I'm not so lovely. Do I just go straight to the opening song, or is there more to come? Well, I'm going to get announced.
Well, we wouldn't want to start without introducing you. It says here, Graeme Cruickshank is a classically trained concert pianist who has spent much of his life working with ministries throughout the world. As well as being a music director for many years, he has also produced and arranged songs for many artists and groups, including several New Thought artists in the U.S. Graeme lives in Raytown, Missouri with his wife Michelle and their 6 children. Good
That
for
is
you.
true. Although I did not say Missouri, I just said Missouri. I don't want to start that whole thing off.
Tomato, tomato.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Thank you for being here.
Well, you're welcome. So, welcome everybody. It's good to be here. So we're going to start with a little song called "Swing Wide the Doors." I don't know if you have the words, but it doesn't matter. You can sing whatever you want. Here we go. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for, and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years. I've learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming loud and clear. I wanna deep the light. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. One more time. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Wow, welcome back. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Suddenly I feel like dancing.
Let's do it.
Thank you. Now our speaker, Diana Kennedy. Diana Kennedy is a unity minister, wisdom teacher, and an artist of life. Diana enjoys leading inspirational talks, offering spiritual counseling and coaching, and writing for several spiritual publications. She also supports others through a powerfully transformative visioning process and radiant light activations. And you may visit her website at RevDianaKennedy.com. Thank you.
I want to make sure I'm on. And I'm going to begin daily word message today. We're going to shake it up a little bit. We're going to have the daily word message to prepare for meditation, and then we'll go into the talk for today. This may come as a surprise. Well, you know, have you ever experienced synchronicity?
Oh, yeah.
The talk title, Creative Process in the Bible, the daily word message, Creative Process. And I didn't do that. So, all right, the thought for today, creative process. And the affirmation reads, I am a divine expression of infinite creative energy. I am a divine expression of infinite creative energy. Symbolically, the 7 days of creation described in the Bible correspond to the 7 states of the creative process. The book of Genesis also shares that humankind was created in the image of God. It stands to reason then that I must be an expression of the same divine energy and an essential part of the creative process. As such, I birth divine ideas into tangible expression in this mortal experience. The creative process is sparked by a vague restlessness, a dissatisfaction with what is. Ideas become manifest and clarity begins to take shape when I surrender to this process and affirm, I am a divine expression of infinite creative energy. And from Genesis 1, verse 27, so God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. And again, our affirmation is, I am a divine expression of infinite creative energy. And I'll say that again, just allow yourself to embody this truth. I am a divine expression of infinite creative energy.
Send my love over the mountains. Send my love over the sea. Send my love into the heavens. It returns to me. Send my joy over the mountains. Send my joy over the sea. Send my joy into the heavens. And it returns to me. Send my power. Send my power over the mountains. Send my power over the sea. Send my power into the heavens. And it returns to me. I send peace. I send peace over the mountains. I send peace over the sea. I send peace into the heavens. And it returns to me. I send my love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens. And it returns to me. It returns matters to me.
So just remaining in this peaceful place with a heightened awareness of God, we settle into this now moment. And I begin this period of meditation with a popular invocation by metaphysician Charles Fillmore, who said, "I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom now erase my mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to thy perfect law." And so we take in a breath together, breathing in and out as community. We tap into a sense of oneness, which is our true nature. And we allow the breath to take us deeper. In Hebrew, the word breath is ruach, which also means spirit. How fitting that this, which gives us life, also connects us with one another in both our humanity and in our spiritual nature. And so we affirm one light, one love, one power, one community, the community of spirit. We drop our awareness fully into our heart space, remembering who we are as children of God. We remember that whatever God is, we are. God is peace. I am peace. God is joy. I am joy. God is love. I am love. Knowing these truths, we rest in the now moment. We rest in God. We rest in the silence. Spent this moment in the silence, we have been blessed, our souls have been touched, and we have shared this energy with one another and ultimately with the world. We are so grateful to be together in community as one. And we say, thank you, God. Thank you, sweet, sweet Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
Send my love over the mountains. Send my love over the sea. Send my love into the heavens. And it returns to me.
So we're very prayed up today. Can I get an amen? Amen. Have you ever found yourself looking with awe in an art gallery at someone else's creation? Just thinking, oh, so beautiful, wow. Someone else's art perhaps on their bookshelf or on their wall, or maybe even in your own home, someone else's art sitting there so beautifully. I can remember gazing at Jenny Hahn's art. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Jenny Hahn. She's often at the First Friday Art Walk, and she has her art at the Unity Village bookstore and around the Kansas City area and ultimately around the country. Just wonderful artist. So I can remember looking at her art, thinking to myself, wow, I could never do that. I could never do that. She's so creative. How did she get those colors to pop like that? She has a way with putting colors next to each other that just brings it out into a sense of vibrancy and beauty. And so I say to myself, I'm not creative. I could never do that. Well, perhaps I couldn't do that because I'm not Jenny Han, I'm Diana Kennedy. But actually, I can, and I did do this. So, while I may not be another artist, I am the artist of my own life. And I am creative. I am creative, and so are you, and you, and you. And what a wonderful place to be reminded of creativity than in a dance studio. You know, there's a little colorful ribbon right here. I'm sure we could do something with that after the service. We've got the music, and we've got these beautiful images of ballerinas and this fabulous dance floor, which just reminds me of the dance lessons I took, and you've probably had a few dance lessons in your life, right? So we are all creative. But I believe that I wasn't creative. My mother was. My sister was. My father, not so much. But I guess I believe that I had the authority to teach a dean who was and who wasn't. And I was in the who isn't. I mean, I did play clarinet for 9 years. I even got to the point where I had a professional clarinet in high school, junior high and high school. I was really rocking it. I was playing. I was creative. Yes, but I didn't recognize that. I didn't recognize my creative power, and I certainly didn't recognize that I'm the creator of my own life. That through tapping into divine ideas, that Spirit and I are co-creating this world called Diana's life. And it may have taken you a while to get to that point, to recognize your creativity. Or you may have said, well, I do draw on divine ideas, but I'm not creative. And I'm here to say you are. We are all creative. You know, we know that we have access to divine ideas. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea, and my joy and my peace, because we can sing that because we know that those divine ideas are available to us, that they are expressions of the divine, that these qualities live within us, perhaps like a wellspring that we draw upon. But not only are they the building blocks of life, they are the creative components of a spiritual life. So we are all the artist of our own lives, yes? I want to hear a hearty yes. Yes. You, in the introduction today, it was shared that I'm a unity minister and I'm a coach and also the artist of my own life. And so I have adopted that moniker to remind me of my power, to remind me that I have within me the ability to shift my thinking. This is a new thought church. Perhaps it's time for a new thought. You know, the growth continues year after year after year, does it not? And maybe there's a place in my life where it's time to shift my perspective, to take a new thought, to tap into a new idea, to paint on the canvas of life with a different splash of color, or maybe a combination of colors that I've never expressed before. And so painting is new for me. Yes. It is new, and so just a year or so ago, I started painting, and at first it did start with process painting, which Jenny Han leads, which is more of a meditative way of painting. You go in deeply to yourself and paint. And so then eventually I graduated to canvas and my own paints that I have and all over my house. And so I'm going to be in a show at Unity Village. There's an art gallery behind the bookstore. I call this one an inner portal. So a lot of my work has some attention right somewhere that you'll find that draws your eye to an inner portal. So it's abstract. You know you can't get abstract wrong. So if you haven't painted and you want to explore, or even, it doesn't have to be painting, it could be with crayons or markers, just do something abstract. And you can turn it whatever way, and you can make, all of these are right, aren't they? You know, that worked for me. And you know this little design right here? I made that with a paper towel. And I don't tell everybody my techniques, but there you go. I just put that paper towel down. You have to get the 99-cent kind. The cheaper, the better. And I just flattened my hand right there. I thought, that is cool. It's done now. It's complete. And we are whole and complete, aren't we? Yes, we are. So I believed that I wasn't creative, and then I took a creative inventory. Have you ever taken a creative inventory of your life? If you haven't, this may be the day that you do, where you look back in your history. It could be last week, it could be last year, or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years ago, and look at, well, I did used to play the drums, or I enjoy music, or I enjoy moving my body, or doodling. How many of you doodled in class? You're creative. How many of you enjoy listening to music? You're creative. Yes. If you can tap something, you're creative. It is one of our innate qualities to be creative. And so with that in mind, who knows what is going to happen this afternoon? Michael's is open on Sunday afternoon, so that could be really fun. I did paint a watercolor that got a ribbon in the county fair when I was in the 4th grade. It was I think, a 4th place ribbon, and I think 4 ribbons were given out. But I got that ribbon. And I danced in junior high. I twirled the baton. I even could twirl 2 batons. That's creative. Why did I not think that I was creative? And then later, when I was in college, I went back to the local high school, a different one that I went to, and I helped them choreograph their routines because they didn't have a private instructor at that school like I had had. And so I got to share my creativity that way, but still not claiming that I am creative. I just want to say that for myself. We know how important it is to use affirmations. I am creative. Let's say that together. I am creative. So awesome. You know, author Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Big Magic, which is all about creativity, she became known for this following quote out of her book, Big Magic. She said, if you're alive, you're a creative person. So if you had any doubt in whenever we just shared that last affirmation, and she's an authority on this, she wrote a book. And she says, if you're alive, she also wrote Eat, Pray, Love, so she's famous. She had a movie even. So if you're alive, you're a creative person. And truth is, we are creative. Not only that, we are creative geniuses. If you may remember right before the service, I called you a creative genius because we solve problems. We tap into solutions, and not everyday solutions. We tap into solutions, S-O-U-L, solutions. So we're digging down into the depths of who we are, tapping into our innate creativity, tapping into divine ideas, into that wellspring of life, and allowing that to manifest in physical form. That is so exciting, I can barely stand it. It is just wonderfully exciting. So our topic for today is the creative process in the Bible. And so I'm just going to touch on that a little. It was already covered in the Daily Word, which is very exciting, that the 7 days of creation are covered in Genesis. And so first we create internally, we create in the mind, we create in the non-physical realm, the invisible realm. And from that, we manifest into physical reality. That's what they say, thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. We should say that too. Thoughts become things. And that is how we create. That is how we create. So that is just really exciting. So how many, why do people, well, I don't want to say how many, because it's probably a lot. They're out there in the world. But why are there so many people in the world that aren't recognizing how powerful they are? That they are creators, and that they have at their fingertips divine ideas. And isn't that empowering? These unity teachings and the New Thought teachings are so empowering for us. And yet there are so many people out in the world not feeling so empowered, feeling separate from and not tapping into divine ideas. So it is time on the planet to share these ideas, and they can be shared in so many ways. They can be shared through art, through music, through poetry, through dance, through meditation, through connection, so that we share this spark of excitement that we are co-creating our lives with Spirit. So we were born powerful. Just think of a newborn. Now, when the newborn gets hungry, what does it do? What does it do? What does it does? What does it do? It cries. Oh, that's a creation, because then the milk comes. That's powerful. So we can use communicating as a way of co-creating a world that works for all. And isn't that the world that you want to create? A world that works for all. So through our communication and our intentions, we are creating. We are that powerful. That is just exciting. So for those dear ones who may not know these teachings yet, or for us who forget it, and now and again, don't you forget, don't you fall off the bandwagon of being the empowered, authentic self that you are? Yes, it may have already happened this morning. If not, it may happen on the way, home. We tend to fall off our wagon. It's just part of the human experience, forgetting who we are. We just need those reminders to come back to the truth. So we were born creative, and along the way in life, we may have picked up beliefs, myths, messages, limiting thoughts. Big brother or big sister may have said, you're not creative. You can't even draw in the box. You're using the wrong color. The sky is not green. The sky is blue. And those colors don't go together. Those colors that you're wearing, you can't wear stripes with plaid. We picked up all these false rules that may have held us back. Someone may have even said, you can't do that. I had a friend, and she was told, you can't play the drums, you're a girl. Now, is that true, that you can't play the drums if you're a girl? They believed it when she was growing up, and they shared it with her. They said, well, if she marched with the drum on her leg, it would make a mark. She's like, I just want to play the drums. And now she plays the drums. And so we may have been told, you're to this or to that, or not enough of this. And we are here to remind one another. It's one of the great things about being together in community. We're here to remind one another of the truth, of the oneness that is us, and of the creative power that dwells within. So there is this limiting mind that wants to tell us that we aren't creative. And it may even tell us that after we go get all the art supplies, or maybe it's when we're standing in line at Michael's with our cool supplies that we're about to purchase. And there's that little voice that says, you really shouldn't have done this. Why did you do this? Last time you tried to create it, it was a disaster. You may have that little voice. And we call that the monkey mind. The monkey mind, because that's all it does is chatter all day, telling us untruths. And so we're going to work with that monkey mind in a compassionate way and yet create this space for what wants to be born in us. Without recognizing our power, all we're doing is reacting, right? We're just reacting to life. So I have this little exercise, and I need 6 wonderful people. A few have already volunteered to come forward. And according to your letter, you will stand here first, and the next person will stand here. And hold that in front for everybody to see. You're going to make a line, so it'll be over here. They'll be here, you'll be here. You meet back here, you can turn around. There you go. Like you're spelling something, and so I need somebody here. And I'm going to need a few more, so come on up.
Come on, the lovely Ida.
Here you go. Okay, here you go. And I just need 2 more. Here you, and then, let's see, what do we have here? R-E-A. Okay, I need one right in here. Just one more.
I'm getting there,
Okay, I'm trusting that you're the one. You are the one. She's the one. I want you to say that out loud. I am the one. Okay, so what do you have? Okay. Okay, R-E-A-C-T. O-R. Reactor.
Reactor.
Reactor. Now, when we recognize, when we see, and that's why she's the one, when we see, when we tap into our consciousness that we are creators, she is going to go up front, take her right spot, go up, you go to the front, and we're going to respell this and make sure everybody can see it. Creator. Yes. Woo! All right. Now y'all can turn around and give me my cool little slips just in case I do this again. I thank you for being my powerful creator.
Check in the mail.
Check in the mail. Check in the mail. And as soon as she saw that, as soon as we see it, as soon as we approach a situation with our full consciousness, which starts with C, that becomes the forefront, that goes to the front, that comes out. And we move from being reactors in life to creators. Isn't that fun? I like to have fun. Fun stands for feeling uplifted now. Okay?
All right.
Yeah. So we move from being reactive or reactors to creators in life. We tap into that wellspring of divine ideas. We get the supplies, we take the class, we go within and tune into a meditative state, into that still small voice of God that guides us and supports us in taking the very next step for what we can do to allow our life to be our art. You see, art is not just contained on a piece of paper or a sketchbook or a canvas. Art is our lives. Art is cooking. Cooking is art. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I thought that, well, I don't know what I thought. I wasn't thinking. That's what my mother would say. Well, evidently you weren't thinking. So I wasn't thinking from my higher state for sure. But cooking is creative and it is art. Projects at work are art. Our hobbies are art. Our relationships are art. So the 7 days of creation support us in stepping forward and creating our life as our art. Creativity is infinite because God is infinite. God is infinite, therefore our creativity is infinite. So we have this power to move forward, and I wanted to share with you what Unity's Revealing Word shares about metaphysics, because that's the underlying tool that we use. We use the mind, we use our higher mind to create. So these are Charles Fillmore's words, and it's pretty lofty. Metaphysics is the systemic study of the science of being, that which transcends the physical, a clear understanding of the realm of ideas and their legitimate expression. I love that, legitimate expression. That means an expression that is right on target. That's what we refer to when we think of divine order, that we're drawing upon divine ideas in their purest form. You've probably seen them in the world, not in their purest form, perhaps as a distortion of divine idea. So when we look at the news, when we look around, and sometimes when we even recognize some turmoil that may be going on, or that feeling that we just didn't hit the mark, we can know that what we've done is taken a divine idea and distorted it into something that really doesn't work so well. But we can always think again. We can always go back to the drawing board or to the color palette, choose again, and create legitimately, creating something that has ease and flow and grace. Truly, each one of us is hardwired for God. We are nudged forward on our path. We don't have to make this happen. It's just a natural unfolding. When you visit a rose garden, haven't you ever noticed different flowers in different stages of bloom? And you can't pull back those petals and make them unfurl on your schedule, can you? But you can create the environment where those beautiful roses can express legitimately and creatively and beautiful for all to see. So we water and we nurture and we make sure they have plenty of sun and the fertilizer that they need. And sometimes we even talk to our plants. They say they do a lot better. And we want to do that for ourselves and of course, for our children, for one another. Make sure that we water and nourish and support so that the natural creation that lives within it is a blueprint. It is a blueprint. It is our purpose here in life to fully express these divine ideas. So on our journey, we are always expressing more and more and more, not of what somebody else is doing, but of what is ours to do, of who we are and what is ours to do. And yet there are those times that our minds spin. What am I meant to do? Where should I go? I'm not meant to be here. This isn't it. This isn't the place. She's not the one. He's not the one. I can't do it. Don't you get that? It's like our mind is off in the future trying to figure out, or maybe it's in the past regurgitating over and over again. Well, that didn't work. Oh, why did I do this? They're kind of going back and forth between resentment and regret. When we're in the now moment, when we allow ourselves to be in that state of being that we reach in meditation, we swing wide the doors And those moments we swing wide the doors so that our creative nature can unfurl. So, how do we do this? Well, one thing is by beginning to be more aware of the thoughts we're holding. Now, I have a song for you. I'm not the official musician, but I like to step up now and again. And you probably know the tune of this. Do you know the song, I'm a girl watcher, I'm a girl watcher, watching girls go by. But how about Wheel of Fortune? I'm a wheel watcher, I'm a wheel watcher. But how about this one? I'm a thought watcher, I'm a thought watcher, watching thoughts go by. My, oh my. So those thoughts will continue to go by. The thoughts that say you really shouldn't have spent that money on those art supplies, or you can't do that, or you're gonna make a mess, or you're too busy, you need to blah, blah, blah. That monkey mind. Just watch those thoughts go on by. Don't latch on, just let them drift on by. And take the time to sit in the silence. If you were to meditate 10 or 20 minutes a day, stretch it a little bit. Or maybe you do sit in meditation for an hour or two a day. Try a 10-minute segment. Try something new in your meditative time. See what arises. I learned something new in meditation just this weekend, and that was I often bring my mind back to the breath when my mind drifts off, which is a wonderful tool. And then someone told me, well, I started to receive a message from Spirit, and I kept interrupting that message and bringing my attention back to my breath. So be open for those messages to come through. Have a pen and paper handy, or a palette. Have something there to capture what's coming through in meditation. And of course, be open to innovation and to new perspectives, a new way of looking at things. So when something's not going well, when you feel a little discombobulated or just discontent, you can say, what is another way of looking at this? What is another way of looking at this? And of course, I'm going to end with this one. Have a sense of curiosity. Play with it. If this was just a game, how would I approach this problem, challenge, relationship, project? Fill in the blank. Yes, a sense of play, a sense of curiosity. So for inspiration, tune into yet another quote that I share here with from the author of Big Magic. She says, who do I think I am? Who do I think I am? I'll tell you who I am. I'm a child of God, just like everyone else. I am a constituent of this universe. I have a right to collaborate with creativity. I'm going to say that again. I have a right to collaborate with creativity because I myself am a product and a consequence of creation. I have a right to collaborate with creativity. Let's say that together. I have a right to collaborate with creativity. So it is a sense of openness and curiosity that encourages the creative impulse. And it brings forth a sense of anticipation that can carry us a long way. The idea of just playing and being open. It helps us to step into what's next in our lives. What am I going to create next? What is the next note that's going to come out of my mouth? What is the next color I'm going to use? So go forth this week and create. You are a co-creator with God. So step boldly into life. Step boldly and express the color, the beauty, the music, the joy, the love, the peace that you are. Create to your heart's desires. God bless you, and namaste.
I want to thank Rev Diana Kennedy for the reminder that we are all creative beings. Thank you very much. It is now time for the offering. Baskets will be passed on both sides, and thank you for your gifts. If you would, as the baskets are being passed, let's say the offering prayer together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am joy-filled and grateful.
All right, so I guess I got a song to do. So I thought about doing something that you could all sing along with that you don't have the words for. So this is a pretty old one, but maybe we'll have some fun with it. I don't know. We'll see. Well, maybe that doesn't work.
Get creative.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've got to be creative with this. So I was told, well, you know, we just wing it. So that's what I'm going to do. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say if you're discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. 'Cause I'm only here for God. I release and I go. Let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. Yes, I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. You'll say I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. The Spirit in my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. That was fun.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. Once again, I feel like dancing. It is time for community concerns. Are there any concerns people would like to share that we can pray about and move through with Jerry?
I'd like to have the center keep my son-in-law Tom in prayer. He was diagnosed, well, not diagnosed, he was found to have several nodules, they call them, I think, on his lungs. And they don't know for sure if it's cancer yet, but he's going in this month sometime to find out. So I would just ask that we keep him in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Ida?
Well, sometimes we ask for prayers for a situation. Other times we praise God or something like that. So right now, I want to take this opportunity to thank Graeme for being here. And how many of you came? Here, Graeme. So there.
That was sweet.
We're very privileged to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Come back. Come back.
Come back. I'll come back.
He's scheduled. Of course, that doesn't mean anything, does it, Brian?
We may have had some issues with scheduling. It's good. I'll be back.
Jeff, did you? Okay. Others? Yes, right over there.
I'd like prayer for my daughter and my oldest granddaughter who have addiction problems.
Do you want to say their names, or do you want to?
Oh, my daughter's name is Ivy and my granddaughter's name is Jade.
Okay. Others? Last week I asked for prayers for my friend Alan Lippincott. He will have surgery for a kidney stone on Friday, and I should have an update on him sometime this week. So I think I'll take a page from Mark Ballard's book from last week, and let's just take a moment and pray for all the people whose names have been mentioned today, and then we will do the community concerns prayer. And the prayer for community concerns is as follows. Centering our hearts and minds in prayer, we let go of any thoughts of worry or challenge, and simply rest in the stillness. We know that our source of strength and peace comes from God alone. We give thanks for divine order and trust that we are all held in the power of grace. Next Sunday, we welcome Ben Jameson as our speaker and Sherry Jameson as our musician. I want to thank Rev Diana Kennedy again, and also Graeme for the wonderful music. Thank you very much.
Need a Heimlich?
We need some kind of creation. I understand that Graham's wife, Michelle, is 22 today?
Oh yeah, 22. She is today. It is her birthday, Michelle. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michelle. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, that was sweet. So it looks like I have a closing song before the end.
Yes. Let's make it up.
No, it's good. It's good. I've got one. So I don't know whether I'm meant to sing this by myself. I thought I'd play when everybody was leaving, but maybe not. So it just seems like it's me again. So it's good. It's good. So this little song is called "God You Are." You probably know the words. It's a sweet little song. If you don't know it, then don't sing or wreck it. I'll just do it by myself. God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every morning. God, you are every moment, every second.
thanks to all of you for coming here, for being here, for opening your minds and your hearts to whatever you've heard today that's going to impact your life. And so my assignment this time is that you go forth, as Rev Diana said, you go forth to spread a little happiness.
Right.
Look somebody in the eye and smile at them. But you know that we're not a stranger. Somebody at the grocery store, no matter where. You take the initiative to spread a little happiness this week and be a blessing. Thank you.
Amen.